Hello, welcome to the Canadian Gun Blog. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a short review of this pistol, which is a Smith & Wesson M&P Performance Center pistol, chambered in 9mm, which has a 5-inch ported barrel. So you can see the ports in the barrel there, as well as the cutouts in the slide, which can help you identify this particular pistol. Otherwise, it shares most of the same features with a standard M&P. This is chambered in 9mm. It's a striker-fired pistol, and again has a 5-inch barrel, which is ported. The pistol comes with a 17+1 round capacity. Unfortunately, here in Canada, we're limited to a 10+1 capacity because of our gun laws, and that's the standard capacity for all pistols. The pistol comes with 3 interchangeable back straps, so they're small, medium, or large, which can be interchanged depending on the size of your hand. In terms of the standard sights, we have essentially the standard M&P sights. You can see there are 3 dots, and so there's a fixed 2-dot rear sight and a front white dot dovetail. These particular sights in this model are quite tall, and that's so, as you can see, you can co-witness the iron sights through the attached optic. The Performance Center models in this pistol are part of their core series, or competition optics ready model. I have a Trijicon RMR red dot, which has been mounted using the included hardware for this pistol. The Performance Center model has some enhancements from Smith & Wesson. They claim that the trigger is enhanced, so an enhanced trigger and Performance Center sear. I've obviously done a modification to the stock trigger, which I'll get into, but the stock model does have an upgrade over the standard M&P. As well, there here you can see this adjustable trigger stop, which will stop trigger over travel, which is can be helpful with the stock trigger, not so important with the Apex tactical trigger I have on this particular pistol, but it does have this adjustable trigger stop to prevent over travel. I really like this pistol. I posted a video a couple months back where I shoot a short IPSC or USPA style stage I set up at my local range. I really like this pistol, but it's not perfect. And of course, I did make some modifications, which I'll get into as well. But just talking about the pros and cons of this pistol, I think overall it's quite an easy pistol to shoot. I think it feels really good in the hand, and I'm coming from shooting mostly full frame CZ75 type pistols, and it is a change going to a polymer pistol, but I find it to be very comfortable to shoot, very easy to shoot. One of the things I was worried about switching to a striker fired pistol, as you hear, because obviously these pistols are not as heavy, there's more felt recoil. To be honest, it's not something that bothered me or I noticed to a significant degree. Other people might find that, might feel differently about that, but for me it was a very easy transition. I find this pistol to be actually quite accurate. I think most modern center-fired pistols are accurate enough for most of the uses we put them through, but I find this to be a really quite accurate pistol for my purposes. In fact, my best shot grouping ever shot from a bench at 25 meters was with this particular pistol, which I was quite surprised at. In terms of reliability, this pistol has been an extremely reliable pistol for me. Initially, for the first couple of hundred rounds, I found it quite tight, and it had a couple of jams and misfires, but after that I put more than 2,000 rounds through this pistol and really had no problems. Otherwise, very easy to take down and clean, and I can show you that right here. So basically taking down this pistol is very easy. So here I'm just removing this component back here. After this is removed, you can easily interchange the back straps as well. So this is the same way to do that right here. I'll leave the large one on. After that, what I'm going to do here, and I'll try and allow you to see it here, I'm just going to take this piece and just pop that lever down right there, which hopefully you can see, and then that will allow me to take down the pistol. So I'll then pull the takedown lever into the down position. That will then allow me to rack the slide back and forward. And there you have fairly easy field stripping. You can take out the rest of the components, which I'm not going to do at this point. We'll leave the barrel in and I'll put this back together. But very easy to field strip and really easy as well to put back together, like so. Pop that back up. Pop this back in. There we go. Just do a quick check and everything looks good. So very easy to do field stripping on this pistol. The other thing that is a positive feature is the fact that the sights are made very tall. As I said, allows you to co-witness. So if you're using a red dot as I am and it fails, you can still see your sights and allow you to continue shooting with accuracy. So what are the things that aren't so great about this pistol? You know, I talked about the positive of the sights, that they're tall. That's really the only thing I like about the sights on this pistol. I don't love the white sights that come standard on the M&P. This is particularly bad in this pistol, and the reason is you can see, again, there's all these ports, there's a ported barrel and all these cutouts on the slide. So when you're shooting it, after about 5 or 10 shots, all this gas that's coming out the port completely blackens this dot, and it's a little bit, makes it a little bit hard to see. So I'm not a huge fan. Typically, if I'm shooting a pistol with iron sights, I typically you know, like a fiber optic front sight for most kind of action shooting disciplines. Or if I'm shooting for more precision and accuracy, I like totally black sights, preferably with a Novak type rear sight. But in any case, I'm not a huge fan of the iron sights. That being said, I predominantly use a red dot with this pistol. The other thing, as you can tell, I've changed out the trigger on this pistol, and why did I do that? Well, the main reason is I find the trigger, even on this Performance Center model from the factory, I find it to be kind of a mushy trigger, and also there's not a definitive trigger reset, which is something that you know, kind of bothers me. And so I prefer this Apex tactical trigger, which I installed. This is a flat-faced Apex tactical trigger, as opposed to having a 5 or 6 pound trigger pull. It's about 3.5 to 4. I find that it has a much smoother trigger pull for me. It doesn't really travel a whole lot, you can see here. And also there's much more of a discernible trigger reset, which is nice. So I found that to be an important modification to make the trigger more smooth and to make a much more discernible trigger reset. The other thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is I find with practice it got a little bit easier, but reloads are a little bit more difficult, quick reloads with this pistol, and I find that to be a combination of the ergonomics of the magazine, and as well, without a magwell you don't have a huge amount of space here. That's just in comparison to some of the other pistols I own, but part of that might just be I have a little bit less practice with this pistol, but that's something that I found to be an area that could be improved. And finally, just one last nitpicky thing. For me, the magazine release, if it just stuck out a little bit more, it'd be easier to do quick reloads. Again, something that could be modified, and that's really kind of a nitpicky detail. The other thing I would mention is that if you're using this pistol, one thing you have to notice is I had some malfunctions early on when using this, and again, a lot of this was due to the fact I'm used to shooting a CZ pistol, is if you have a really high grip on this pistol, you need to make sure that your supporting hand thumb doesn't get too high, as that can impede the slide from moving back and properly chambering the next round. And I think the reason for me that this was an issue is on these pistols, you can tell compared to a CZ pistol, for example, the slide is really quite tall, versus quite a short vertical distance of the top aspect of the frame here. And so if you try and really get that high grip, it's great for recoil control, but make sure you don't get your thumb too high in the slide. Because even a minimum amount of friction in this area will affect the proper functioning of the slide and lead to malfunctions. So again, that's not a problem with the pistol, but something that I noticed, and I had to modify my grip in order to improve that. So overall, great pistol. The modifications I made, as we talked about, are the Apex Tactical Trigger, which I think is a huge improvement. I've added some grip tape here to the front of the grip, and also some grip tape to a couple of different areas, both on this side and on this side. And I find the grip tape does two things. One, it helps me get a much more solid grip, and some of these other smaller pieces of grip tape allow me to index my grip, so I'm grabbing the pistol exactly the same way every time. So the grip tape, the trigger, and also the optic, easy to put on in these core models because you have the hardware that's included with the gun. And so this is a Trijicon RMR red dot sight, which I use and find it to be extremely helpful. So again, great pistol. You can see me shooting this pistol in one of my prior videos. I'd encourage you, or others to buy this pistol. That being said, there are a couple of things that I would modify, and I think really the big thing is for me the